Next up, we've got The Legend of Zelda. Understand this. I have not played every Zelda game ever made. I have played the original Legend of Zelda. I skipped 2. I played A Link to the Past. I didn't play the follow-up to A Link to the Past, which I think is A Link Between Worlds. They're making a remake of it, by the way, on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm excited about. I'll play it there. I missed a couple of the Super Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games that they had going on there. And then I played Ocarina of Time. I never beat Ocarina of Time. That damn water temple gets me every time. I'm hoping to stream it, which will force me to get past the water temple, but we'll see. But I didn't play Majora's Mask. I didn't like the idea of Zelda on a time limit. I love the story of Majora's Mask. I know all about the story and how it represents going through the, is it 5 stages of grief after someone's passing. You guys don't know about that. Go check out Game Theorist's Majora's Mask. One of the most interesting videos I've ever seen in my life. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to him as well. He's not paying. He don't know me. He's not paying me to say it. But I'm telling you, Game Theory, one of the best channels on YouTube, especially if you're into. It's basically conspiracy theories for gaming. What else can? It's very, very entertaining. Check it out. Anyways. And then I didn't play any of the GameCube or Wii U ones. There really wasn't one on Wii U, because Wii U kind of carried over, what was it, Twilight Princess, I think? I played Minish Cap somewhere in there. That was one of the Game Boy ones. DS, I believe. And I played Four Swords, which was an add-on to the Link to the Past Game Boy Advance game. Which, it sucked because you needed other people to play it with you. And none of my friends picked it up. I was just kind of fucking stuck on my own, so I made it into the first castle, and once you get into the first castle, you need all 4 links to touch things, and there's no one else to play with. And then I played Breath of the Wild, and regardless of my complaints of Breath of the Wild, it is an amazing game. It is, in my opinion, just not an amazing Zelda game. But again, I mean, it's a good Zelda game. It's just not an amazing. Like, for me, Zelda's all about the dungeons and picking up the special items here and there, not about breakable weapons, eating, and actually having to think about wearing specific things because you might get struck by lightning if you wear something else. Like, that's just... Zelda, for me, is not a survival game. It's an adventure game. Anyways, Legend of Zelda 100% goes into the best of the best, one of the best Nintendo franchises ever. Next up, we've got Dead Island. Dead Island is a good game. It's a good game. I never finished it. I never finished the first one. I've got it on the PlayStation. I played it once. None of the friends that I was playing with could get back with me. I didn't want to stream it playing it by myself because Dead Island definitely seems like one of those games that's more fun with friends. But I will say it's at least worth a playthrough. Go check it out. If you haven't played it yet, you should. Next up, we've got Gears of War. Gears of War as a franchise, for me, goes under best of the best. And here's why. It is, in my opinion, Microsoft's best overall franchise. And a lot of you guys shit on 4, but 4 is actually one of my favorite ones in the series. And the ending of 4 surprised me 100%, and I cannot wait for 5 to come out. As far as franchises go, though, the franchise as a whole is amazing. 3 is my least favorite in the series. 2 is my favorite in the series. And a lot of you guys will be like, but 2 was more about following Dom's story than it was doing anything else. You're right. And it's because of Dom's story, I cried my fucking ass off. At the time, I was happily married, and to see the decision that he had to make with his wife, the way he had to make it, dude, I put the controller down, cried, and walked away. Oh man, I love that game. This is going to be a really long video at this rate. Alright, so next up, we've got Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is worth a playthrough. I don't think it's one of the best. The new ones are better than the older ones, in my opinion. But I definitely think the newer ones steal way too much off of Uncharted. And I still think Uncharted does it better. But it's definitely worth a playthrough. And like I said, they are better. The 2 new ones... 3 new ones. I'm sorry, 3 new ones. There were 3 new ones. of the from the reboot, I definitely think are much better than the original series. Animal Crossing, just because I don't want to make you guys feel bad, when I played it, I felt like I wasted my time. I kind of wish I had that time back. Angry Birds goes right into the same thing. As a matter of fact, mobile games in general, I typically play them for about 2 months and I'm done. Dark Souls, never played it. Can't judge it. I'm afraid of breaking some shit. I know my anger. Payday, never played it. Can't judge it. I know a lot of you guys are like, man, Payday's such a good series. I'm sorry, I never played it. Smash Brothers goes amongst best of the best for me. One of the best fighting franchises, especially if you've got a group of people to play with. It is definitely more fun in person, playing with your friends and talking shit. And if you don't know how that feels, you're too young. Anyways, dude, amazing franchise. Batman, the Arkham series, best of the best, minus the third one. The third one I have my complaints. First and second are great. The third one, in my opinion, is good. I will not give you guys the yummy level of hate for it. I think aside from the car missions, the rest of the game was actually pretty fun, albeit a bit predictable. I think the thing that pissed me off the most wasn't even the computer thing, because I don't play games on the computer that often. I mean, I am more now lately. But as far as for that time, when that third game came out, I heard the computer port sucked, but that didn't affect me, so it didn't bother me. And I'm sorry for those of you that it did affect, and I understand. I would be pissed. Now, my biggest problem, though, was the guys that made Batman came out and was like, no, this is not going to be a retelling of the Red Hood. It is somebody different. Rocksteady, you fucking lied. It was the same person. It was not a new hero at all. You gave him a different name, but we knew better. Yeah, we knew better as fans, and that was bullshit. But I still love the series. I hear they're making a new one. I hope they do. Battlefield, not for me. A lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, Battlefield's way better than Call of Duty. That's your preference. I prefer boots on the ground, quick run and gun style of military shooters. The vast open world weapon, vehicular combat type things, just not my style, man. And I tried to play it. I tried to play one of the earlier Battlefields, and I ran on a map for 10 minutes trying to find somebody to shoot, and by the time I even found somebody sniped me. And then I spawned back and had to run another 15 minutes just to get back into some action. And I know you're supposed to I don't want vehicular combat in my shooters. I want to shoot. That's it. I don't think it's a terrible game. It's just not my style. Next up, we've got Spyro. I'm going to put Spyro under not for me as well. As far as classic games go, and I know it's going to hurt a lot of you guys, I was not a big fan of Spyro. I think around the time it was popular, I was getting into more mature games. So it was hard for me to get into it and really enjoy it. Burnout Paradise, I was not a fan of the Burnout series. We're going to put that under not for me as well. As far as racing games go, I pretty much just stuck to the Need for Speeds of the time. And that's that. Little Big Planet 4? Is there a Little Big Planet 4? I'm pretty sure Little Big Planet 3 was the last one that came out. But the Little Big Planet series in general, I'm going to put under not the best, but would play again. I've had a lot of fun with that series. It is ridiculous fun, stupid fun. It's a platformer by every stretch of the imagination, but the visuals, magnifique, dude. I'm telling you, check out Little Big Planet if you haven't. I know you guys have seen Sackboy, because you probably thought the same thing I thought when I first seen Sackboy. Man, that looks so kiddie and so stupid. Dude, go check that shit out. It is ridiculous fun, and I mean that. Next up, you got Tom Clancy games. I don't know why they've got Tom Clancy in its own little thing. I would change it if I could, but I can't. Tom Clancy, if we're talking just Rainbow Six games, I love the Rainbow Six games. I always have. My favorite multiplayer shooter of all time is Rainbow Six Siege. My second favorite shooter of all time is Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Which I loved Rainbow Six Vegas 1, and Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was Rainbow Six Vegas 1, but you could sprint, and it had different maps, and they even brought back some of the old maps. Now, I will say they shit the bed when it came time to put out DLC for it, because they said, yeah, we're going to come out with 3 packs of DLC with 4 maps apiece for free, and then they put out 1 and was like, we're no longer supporting the game. It was a little shitty. A little shitty. But with that being said, I'm going to say Tom Clancy is not the best, but would play again. They have some other good games. I know a lot of people like Division. I don't really like Division. I find it boring. Next up, we got Deus Ex. I'm sorry, guys. It goes under never played it. It was just not something that piqued my interest when it came out, so I never got around to it. Devil May Cry, I'm going to put under worth a playthrough. A lot of people think it's one of their favorite franchises. I just think it's okay. It's worth a playthrough.